that intro with Aaron Rodgers, it hits a little bit different today, doesn't it?
Yes, I have to look at it in a different light.
Right, a little bit. What's going on, you guys? How you doing?
How's it going, everybody? Good morning.
Mr. Heinen, what's going on? John LeBlanc, thanks for joining us. Kyle Nohe, what's going on, bro? Casey Royals, what's going on?
How's it going, everybody?
Happy Sunday.
Happy football Sunday.
Should be a good slate this week too.
I have a good feeling about it. I don't know why. We're missing the Tampa Bay Bucks today, so if you rely on an elite offense like that, that hurts a little bit. But lots of good games today.
I'm just happy to get back to football because a lot of the narratives surrounding football have been about like really non-football related things surrounding the players. But like I'm just glad to get back into some games.
So let's get it then.
Yes, sir. Mr. Heinen with the first questions. PPR dropped Jamal Agnew for Jacoby Myers. Yes.
Yeah.
But do not play Jacoby Myers over Bryan Edwards this week. I would go to Bryan Edwards. I think he just has more upside.
Sorry, I'm just checking to make sure my video is correct.
I think you're all right. But you agree with that, right? Bryan
Play
Edwards
Bryan
over
Edwards.
Yeah.
Play Bryan Edwards over Myers. I mean, it's just like he hasn't scored. It's wild. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet in his NFL career, and he's been like he's been decently productive. Just hasn't happened. I would play Edwards up for upside. I think Myers is okay to drop. I would keep the running backs for now. Ingram could be looking at an expanded role, although they're not starting Hill, so they may try to continue to run a little bit more of their traditional
offense. So
offense.
I think he gets more goal line opportunities. Maybe Taysom Hill gets some sparse spot work there. But
I think Hill will get spot work in the red zone.
Maybe.
I do.
Maybe. But, I know you're down James Robinson. Henderson and Gordon are good starts. I would not be dropping Ingram and Wilson this week. I would see how Wilson does. I would see what Mark Ingram's role is with Trevor Siemian playing QB and Taysom Hill being this gadget player. I would see what Ingram's role is in this offense before I drop him. But I would start Bryan Edwards, and I would drop Agnew for Myers for sure. Don't drop Sony Michel. I see you said that later on. Do not drop Sony Michel.
Don't do that
Especially
either.
if you have Henderson.
He's a Hendo injury away.
Hendo,
I'm going to do it again.
Hendo.
He's a Henderson injury away from, top 10 and upside.
Is anybody else calling him Hendo? Is that a thing out there?
We're going to make it.
Theo, you calling him Hendo? You out there? Oh, man. All right. But thanks for your question, Mr. Heinen. John LeBlanc, am I crazy for wanting to start Waddle over Mike Williams? Yep. You are a little bit. I think so.
I disagree. I don't think
love
so.
Williams long term, but I don't love the matchup this week. Who's he playing against?
The Eagles. They are, if there's one thing that they've done well is defend wide receivers. Darius Slay has shut down some pretty good wide receivers this year. That is pretty much the one claim to fame the Eagles defense has. Darius Slay has been a high-end corner in the league this year. And Mike Williams, in 3 of his past 4 games, is under 30 receiving yards. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. I'm giving you the benefit. I'm kind of in lockstep with John LeBlanc here.
Okay.
I don't think it's crazy because Waddle's got a beautiful matchup. Mike Williams he's starting to build a reputation of being matchup proof, but he's not there yet. And 3 of his past 4 contests have been duds, not even like passable, like 1 to 2 catches and under 30 receiving yards. Like that's a bust.
Yeah.
So no, it's not crazy. And if you're inclined to leave Waddle in there and Williams on the bench, I can't even hate it.
Because Waddle was never a bad swerve to me, but I was just thinking, at face
Mike
value,
Williams,
Mike Williams over Waddle. But you're talking me into it. I think you are not crazy as well. Thanks for checking me on that, bro.
Yeah, of course.
KC Royals, what's going on? Which defense should I start? Minnesota, Miami, or Houston? What do you think, bro?
Miami. They're the ones. They're playing the Texans. The Texans have been, they are. I know Tyrod is back, but it's still it's an opportunistic situation for the Dolphins. I know they're not a good team. They're 1-6, but they'll be in this game. And weird stuff happens, I feel like, between 2 bad teams. Like somebody has a bad fumble, the defense picks it up randomly, runs it in for a score. Some random crap happens like when 2 bad teams play. I would not play Minnesota on the road against Baltimore. Obviously, of these 3 units, Minnesota is the best, but they're on the road in Baltimore. I do not want to play the Vikings outside of their dome against Lamar Jackson. So I would go with Miami.
That stands. Don't come to me for defense questions. Don't come to me for kicker questions. Go to this guy over here. And yeah, we're in the same room again. He's still in Philadelphia. For everybody that missed out on last night's stream, Nick is here. He's sitting across from me for the second time, really, because last night was the first.
Right, last night was the first time. Home for a week. My brother got married.
What?
It was awesome. A lot of fun, but I'm here. So we're doing this. We're doing this live.
Live, yes, sir. KC, thanks for your questions. Kawanohi, what's going on, bro? Tannehill or Burrow at QB? I have A.J. Brown in the flex spot, even though he's questionable at the moment. I would go Tannehill. If you got the stack.
Yeah, I know. I kind of like the matchup is better for Burrow, but it is a division game. But Burrow's been good, better like much deeper collection of weapons.
Yeah.
I think I would go Burrow. The Rams are a tough matchup for quarterbacks. According to Sleeper, just throwing this out there, Panthers plan for quarterback Sam Darnold to start. So there you go.
Good.
I think I'd go Burrow. Kawanoe. I look. I love
Los
stacks.
Angeles. The Rams are middle of the pack. They're literally like right in the middle of the pack in terms of fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. So it might be a harder matchup for quarterbacks, but for wide receivers, it's better. And it's A.J. Brown, and he's gonna be playing. It looks like.
I think this is a situation where I advocate breaking up the stack, and I would go Burrow.
Wow. All right.
I would go Burrow.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I would go Burrow.
I like stacks too much.
I love stacks. I love stacks.
That's what it comes down to. It's not that Burrow is a bad option to switch to.
I just think he's got the better. I think he's got the better matchup, like rather handedly this week. It's a division game.
Yeah.
So take that into account. It's a division game. Division games get wonky. I'll say it again. I feel like I always I come up with my personal cliches, and then I remind everybody I'm going to constantly say them. So I'm going to keep saying them. Division games are weird. That would be the only thing. But
in terms of fantasy points given up to wide receivers, they're literally 0.4 points apart. The Browns are
the Rams and the Browns
4 points low.
So it's literally
right.
Not literally,
So
but
if we're talking about the stack there, I think I stay with the stack because the difference, while on paper the Rams might look like and they are tougher matchup, and this is obviously without whatever contribution Von Miller is going to give this team,
who is not guaranteed to play tonight.
Right, but we haven't heard anything as of.
The last I saw about Von Miller, Sleeper had an update that
he'll test his ankle pregame
yes.
warm-ups, determining whether or not he plays in Week 9 against the Titans.
So he's a toss-up right now. He's 50-50. So obviously that will, their acquisition would have to wait a week, but they're still a good defense.
Yep.
Slight edge. I still say slight edge to Burrow. Not that Tannehill's a bad pivot. If you decided, obviously at the end of the day, with your gut, if you want that there, then keep the stack. This is a slight. It's ever so slight, a big. But I would be willing to break up the stack here.
The difference in fantasy quarterbacks is 3 points. So there's a 3-point difference to opposing fantasy quarterbacks versus a 3-point difference to opposing wide receivers.
You mean for the Browns?
Or a 0.34 difference for wide receivers. Right. So yeah, I mean it's not enough for me to move away from the stack there, even though I really do like Burrow.
Sorry, we're splitting that. We gave our takes. You can ask the chat as well if the Tannehill versus Burrow, if you guys want to weigh in. But at the end of the day, go with your gut. Not to talk back to you, but the cases have been made.
Everybody in the chat, see if we can help sway him one way or another, because me and Nick are deadlocked. So
we're a little divided on Tannehill.
Yep.
Both, but we're on different sides of the fence.
Keeping in mind the stack, but moving on. Tony Kamaj,
what's up, Tony?
What's up, dude? What's up, fellas? Carr or Tua while Kyler is out?
I think Tua, the matchup is great.
Yeah, we don't know how this Raiders team is going to really respond without Ruggs. They have 4 wide receivers.
Right, Carr is down his starting wideout.
Right, they have 4 wide receivers. Now I know they operate with tight ends and they operate with their fullback Ingold a lot, and they mix it up. It's not a wide receiver heavy team. They only rostered 5 to begin with, but they lost a starter. They had to bring up somebody from the practice squad named Damon. I'm blanking on his name because I don't even know his.
We'll look that up. We'll look that up. Yeah, it's I feel like Carr. It's a perfect matchup for Carr. But Tua's got better matchup and not coming off of an off-field, situation that the Raiders team is.
Yeah.
It's an intangible to consider.
I swerved to Tua. I had the choice.
I say Tua.
I had the choice in the keeper league. I swerved to Tua. That was what I went to. So, yep.
Yeah, I prefer Tua. I prefer Tua. I was looking ahead quarterbacks for a Brady bye week last week. I liked Tua last week before anything happened with Ruggs as it pertains to Carr. So Tua.
Yep.
What's up, Elias?
What's going on, bro? Sorry, I was looking up to see what this guy's name was, and I can't even look it up.
That's all right.
My notes. It's not...
Let me take Theo's question. Do I drop Justin Jackson for Jamar Jefferson? Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. I think that's a fun match. The Chargers situation is like impossible to figure out.
And there's a chance they just draft another one this next coming off season. But I think the Lions.
I think that's fine.
Jamar Jefferson, for what it's worth, before the draft was voted by some to be the third best prospect in this running back class.
At least in the top 5
and
as far as
he dropped really far, but he was thought of to be one of the more talented guys that went undrafted. So, yeah, he's got a little bit more. He should have a little bit more juice than just the average undrafted free agent. So if he was ever to get any share of the role, I think I'd be excited to see what he would do at least. That's what I would say. So yeah, I think we've seen what Justin Jackson is
rebuild.
Already. Yeah.
A rookie versus he's like 26 now at this point, isn't he? I think I'm right on that. Oh, I mean, yeah, I think this is a relatively easy. But yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Yep. Elias, you still need to drop either Alex Collins, AJ Dillon, Jeff Wilson, or Rashad Bateman to pick a TE for this week. I'd go Alex Collins.
Yeah, probably. I'm not dropping Dillon.
No, not dropping.
I want to see Wilson, if Bateman would be, I guess, second, but like I don't want to drop Bateman necessarily just for a tight end fill-in. I mean, if you need the win, if you're going for the win, obviously we got to figure something out. But Collins would be the pick.
Now,
do
you expect Chris Carson to come back this year?
I don't want to put words in anybody's mouths, but I feel like the recent report I saw was that Carson is trying to play next week.
Yeah.
That's a player, I think, wanting to play.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know how realistic it actually is.
I'm sure he wanted to play 3 weeks.
Right. Oh yeah, no, of course. Like he's this is what he does. Of course he wants to. Yeah, but like the report almost kind of acted as if like there could be a chance.
I don't know. I need to hear that from the team, not a want from the player at this point. I'm still skeptical.
Oh, I'm skeptical as well. But like,
so Alex Collins is going to be the running back 1 for the Seahawks when Russell Wilson comes back and they start firing on pretty much all cylinders again. Because nobody else in that backfield has taken his spot. Does that change your mind at all? Are you willing to drop Jeff Wilson even though he's a hot name?
No, because I want to. Because
are you willing to drop Rashad Bateman right now?
If Trey Sermon was something, then I would be fine dropping Jeff Wilson. But this backfield's wide open right now because Mitchell. I think Elijah Mitchell is. This is easy to call right now. He's the number 1 in that offense, but he's banged up. He's been on the injury report like every other week. So.
But
I don't want to drop Wilson.
He could drop till he could wait until the 49ers game to drop someone. And also, I saw that you said the music was a little bit too loud. I turned it down when I saw that earlier. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Working through the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would still. Are the Seahawks? The Seahawks are on bye this week. Are that? Or am I remembering that correctly? This is the week. This is the week for
Seahawks Bucks.
Yeah. So I would think you're gonna, even if like Bateman doesn't have a good game. Because the only guy you can drop is him, right? Because Dillon plays at the same time as the 49ers, and Wilson does too. So Bateman's the only one you're talking about potentially seeing if he has a bad game, and then you drop him. I don't necessarily want to do that even in that situation. So just Collins is on his bye week. I think that's the drop.
I just have a little bit more trepidation about doing it just because I know that he's going to be the number one there. Against all conventional wisdom, he's the Mike Davis this year. He's just not as productive. But he is the aging veteran who came out of nowhere and is starting until the end of the season.
We think so, yeah.
I would believe so. So,
but are you still okay dropping him in this situation?
Well, neither. It depends on your running back situation, because if you're going to be dropping Alex Collins, but he's like your second or third option, no, because I don't feel comfortable starting Dillon or Wilson right now. Those guys are Dillon's a handcuff and Jeff Wilson's a wait and see to see how his role is. I don't feel comfortable starting any of them. So if I'm in the position where I'm going to need to be starting a running back moving forward, I don't want to be dropping Alex Collins. I would rather drop.
I think Dillon is flexible this week. I think the Packers are going to have a somewhat similar game plan that they did.
Wide receivers, for what it's worth, wide receivers are more replaceable.
They
just are, by definition of scarcity.
So then would Bateman be?
Depends on your running backs, bro. If you got like 3 running backs ahead of Alex Collins and you don't need them, drop him. But if
are you in a must-win situation today?
Yeah, if he's your third running back, though, if he's your second running back, then no.
If you're trying to tight end stream and the options are between, a bunch of like tight end twos, like, do you just eat the roster spot? Like, I know that doesn't feel good, but
I'm always about playing the waiver wire. So I would drop Rashad Bateman and then try to pick him up. And then if not, people are going to drop somebody to pick them up. Chances are they're a wide receiver you can pick up. Chances are there's a wide receiver on the wire that you can pick up. That's going to be
that is of similar value.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I like Bateman a lot, but
so then maybe wait, let and see. But then would you wait until 1 o'clock, see how he does as far as how he does, or are you just dropping him regardless because you want to?
You take advantage, whatever advantage you can get. If you can wait until 1 o'clock, wait until 1 o'clock.
Yeah, all right.
Take whatever advantage you can get to make the most informed decision. But
yeah, maybe okay.
Then
maybe wait.
Make the most informed decision.
Right. Yeah. Wait until the 1 o'clock games are played. And go from there. But I guess we would. All right, you convinced me. You are correct. Like, wide receivers are just, no matter how much you like, certain guys, they're easily replaced. Compared to running backs
aren't, and the running back that's getting the majority of the touches is
true.
Valuable.
All right. Yeah, Bateman would be the drop, Elias. But if you want to wait until after the 1 o'clock games end before making a final decision, I think that's more than fair.
And trust me, man, if I was in your situation, I wouldn't feel great about it, but it would be the smart move to make.
Yeah.
But yeah, we hope that helps, bro. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the clarifications, and thanks for the tip on the technical.
Oh, the help with the sound. Yeah, we are. If anything looks or sounds weird, let us know.
Yeah, this is a temporary setup. We kind of just set this up on the fly, like 8 to 10 minutes right after you got here yesterday. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But this is fun anyway, bro. I wish you were.
Yeah, it's dope.
Wish you were back in Philadelphia more often.
Well, I'm not necessarily in LA permanently, so never say never. That weather tax is worth it.
All right, let's get back to it. Where were we?
Ethan. Ethan Harvey. What's going on, Ethan?
What's going on, bro?
It's pick 2, full PPR. Julio, Jacoby Myers, Devante Smith, Jarvis Landry. I think Landry's your definite.
He's a must start now.
I think Landry's your definite.
He's close to a must start now. He gets you 13.5 fantasy points averaged when Odell Beckham was out, and he's not there anymore.
Landry's easy call.
Yeah.
What is Julio's status? I guess he's in tonight.
He's in. I wouldn't trust him. If you're picking 2, I would play Devonta Smith and Jarvis Landry.
You would go Smith. It's a bad matchup for Smith. Chargers are pretty strong.
Would you go Jacoby Myers or Julio Jones over Devonta Smith?
And then that's the thing. Myers might see Stephon Gilmore. But the Chargers on defense have been strong as well against wide receivers. Devontae Smith is a little bit more, I feel like, of a clear-cut alpha's not the right word, yet with Devontae Smith, but you know what I mean. He's the clear top option for the Eagles in the passing game.
And you made the point last week that he's been more consistent than previously thought.
He has been more consistent than you might think when you're thinking about the Eagles offense. Yeah. Okay, I'm in. Landry and Devante, Ethan. I would go with those last two.
Yeah. Hey, if AJ Brown was out, then Julio Jones. But AJ Brown is in.
He's in.
And he's a target monster when he's in. He's the clear-cut number one wide receiver. We've seen Julio Jones get I think it was 3 catches when they were both playing together at earlier points in the season. And we've already touched on Jacoby Myers. So
if Devonte Smith plays at 4:05 today, Julio plays in the Sunday night game. If in a weird, unlikely scenario, AJ Brown is ruled out before the 4 p.m. kickoffs, do you pivot to Julio from Devonte?
To beat the Rams, they're going to have to pass. Yep. They can't rely on their running back anymore to generate their entire offense. I mean, they're going to try to replicate that with AP, obviously, but that's not something they're going to be able to replicate. It's just not. Unless AP was in his prime, and he's not. He's 36. Coming off
Devante and Jarvis Landry, Ethan. If in the unlikely scenario AJ Brown randomly gets ruled out before the 4 p.m. kickoffs, you can pivot to Julio off of Devante to Julio if you'd like.
Yep.
But that's doesn't seem likely to happen. So Smith and Landry.
Yep. Todd, what's going on? Asked you guys a week ago about Jeff Wilson's stash. How you feel about him today? Better? Good?
I mean, he's ahead of schedule, right? I feel like
Elijah Mitchell
maybe
he's
like
going to be playing, but he's just continuously banged up, like you said earlier. So yeah, we feel
Mitchell's. I think Mitchell's the 1A right as of right now. Mitchell's the 1A, if not just the 1. Michael Hasty is a clear backup, and Trace Sermon is a non-factor right now. If JaMychal Hasty was doing a little bit more with a few more touches and Trey Sermon looked halfway decent, I'm not feeling super great about Jeff Wilson. I'm not feeling super great about this backfield in general, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
So, feeling good. I mean, I don't think he gets more than 10 touches today, Wilson. If he gets more than 10 touches, I'd be kind of shocked. Not because I don't think he can handle it, but it's just first game back from a pretty nasty injury. George Kittle missed 3 weeks, and he himself is going to be on a pitch count today. Jeff Wilson's also going to be on a pitch count. But, I mean, I'm excited to see what happens. There's absolutely an opportunity here for Jeff Wilson to – you kind of alluded to this yesterday, John. He already carved out the role, so to speak, last year. There is an opportunity for him to just take that role back.
Yeah, and I'm looking up his touch counts for last season because every back was involved in this offense. It wasn't just Jeff Wilson. When Jeff Wilson was in, they
rotated in multiple guys.
Yeah, for the majority of until week 14 of last season, he had only seen up to 12 touches twice. He had a 17 touch game in there, but it was 3, 4, 3, 7, 11, 12. And then at the end of the year, he got 16, 22, and 20. And that boosted his stats. Right.
So, yeah, I mean, we could see a similar trend happen this year.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in between 2 and 7 carries. I don't even know if he gets to 10.
I would be stunned.
So I like him longer term.
Anything more than
I didn't see that today on there. If you're talking about him today, 2 to 7 touches is probably
right. Today I'm leaving him on the bench, but I'm not dropping him unless. I don't even want to say unless. I don't want to drop him.
Yeah, they didn't play him in a featured role until there were issues with Raheem Mostert. Mm-hmm. Elijah Mitchell has completely taken the Raheem Mostert role. I think that's his role now.
There's work in the 49ers backfield for multiple backs.
Right, but Elijah Mitchell banged up. He could
Wilson's
go the way of Raheem Mostert at any day.
Forward.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah, feeling good, Todd. Feeling pretty good about it. Obviously, we got to see it play out on the field, but the opportunity is absolutely there.
Oh, this is a hard question to ask. This is a hard question to take, Jorge. What's going on? Good morning, though. But Allen Robinson, a drop for Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh, damn. Isn't it wild that Allen Robinson has approached drop territory? Because he has.
Yeah, it just still doesn't feel right.
I don't.
But with David Montgomery coming back,
how
to
badly?
run the ball
I mean,
more with Khalil Herbert and David Montgomery. Like now they're
My
gonna
fir-
run more. Now they're gonna. It's yeah.
my first question, I guess, Jorge, is who are your other wide receivers? Like, obviously Allen Robinson was a high pick for you. Did you hit on anybody as far as like later draft picks here and there? Like, who are your other wide receivers? Is Allen Robinson still a guy where you're like, I have to start this dude? Like, or has that been the case for the past 3 weeks? Like, if that's the case, then yeah, you might want to consider doing it. But if you have, if you've got 3 guys ahead of Robinson, and maybe you're not pulling any of those guys out of your starting lineup for Donovan Peoples-Jones, then maybe keep waiting. Like, what's your wide receiver situation?
Yeah, if you need to play Donovan Peoples-Jones this week and you're hoping for more upside this next week within the next couple of weeks,
then sure.
But there's also just as much chance as Donovan Peoples-Jones has to just blow up and start performing like we wanted OBJ to perform over the past few seasons. It's just as much likely that Justin Fields figures it out and starts targeting his Allen Robinson, his number 1 wide receiver, over the second half of the season. So I mean, I like Allen Robinson so much.
I'm
not getting rid. I'm sorry, I'm not getting rid of him for Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Jorge,
play Donovan
it's like
Peoples-Jones this week.
Only if you're desperate. Like, if you're desperate, I get it. But if you're like 4-4 or whatever, maybe your wide receivers are decent. Maybe you got a couple guys on bye this week or whatever. Like, I'm not actively trying to make that move unless I like desperately need a win this week. And even then, I'm like, meh.
I mean, we've seen wide receivers just fall off. Like we've Demaryius Thomas just like at one point he just like from season to season he just fell off, and he was not that far off in age of where Allen Robinson is now.
He wasn't that old. Yeah, right. That's a good and example of like
they were the similar types of wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And Allen Robinson, for what it's worth, was banged up a fair amount early in his career. Is he done? Is that
not ready to go there? I've seen him wide open and Fields just missed him.
Yeah.
So no, Jorge, like only if you're desperate. I don't love the idea of having to do that, but I understand the pain right now.
Yeah, you want to shake it up because you're disappointed with the fact that he's been putting up.
Who are your other wide
4
receivers
weeks all year?
And go from there.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Yeah. Thanks for the question though, Cade. What's going on? I have all my wide receivers on bye this week are Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, and Cole Beasley. Good starts. Or should I put in Hunter Renfrow because Henry Ruggs is out?
Without Ruggs, sure.
Over those guys that are in, no.
Well, wait. Beasley is on the injury report.
Is he?
Yes, with a rib injury. He's questionable. It looks like he's going to play.
But to your point yesterday, Emmanuel Sanders week.
We think it's an Emmanuel Sanders week. So I'm not opposed to playing Renfrow in a great matchup where we're expecting more targets his way over Cole Beasley.
I mean, they're both giving you the same kind of targets, the same amount of targets, basically.
Right. They're very they slot guys.
Renfrow is basically Cole Beasley. He's discount Cole Beasley. I mean, I don't know. Discount maybe not, but he's performing like Cole Beasley has been. So they're kind of
given the fact that is Renfrow on the injury report. Given the fact that Beasley is on the injury report, Renfrow's not. I think I'm inclined to go Renfrow.
Now the Ruggs thing, we went over this a little bit yesterday. 5 targets a game to Ruggs, now vacated. We expect the majority of that to go to Darren Waller and Bryan Edwards. And I mean, Zay Jones is going to pick up some. How much is going to be left over for Hunter Renfrow to pick up more targets? I don't know, but he doesn't need that much more.
He's already getting a bunch of targets anyway.
He was a wide receiver 3 for you before this.
Like,
so while I don't know if it's going to help him pick up more targets all that much.
He doesn't need more targets.
He doesn't need them. Right.
First 7 weeks
like
targets.
Like week in, week out already.
Renfrow targets 9, 7, 6, 8, 8, 5, 8. That's rock solid. No less than 5, getting close to 10 multiple weeks. Renfrow over Beasley.
Yep.
Renfro. Yep.
But that's not a bad lineup for if all your
Nah,
wide receivers
Keenan
are
Allen
on
and T.
bye.
Higgins are fine.
Yeah.
They're more than fine. And then I would swap out Beasley for Renfro.
Nifty main thoughts on OBJ potentially signing with the Saints. I don't love it.
You don't love it? I'm just not sure about Odell anymore.
That's
not
reports
true.
are he
He
wants
still-
to
he
go
was
to a
also
playoff
wide
team.
open.
I know. I just
Saints are 5-2.
yes, but Trevor Siemian in now.
That's hold up. That's the
I
hold
don't
up.
think he wants to jump ship from a Browns Baker Mayfield situation where on-field quarterback issues in connection with him were the issue to a subpar quarterback in a historically good organization. Right.
Yeah, I don't know if Peyton wants to bring in a headache like that, or a
He
potential.
already
Not a,
has
you know,
another
he's
one.
not a he's not headache by
He
trade.
already has
but just
another
like
one at wide receiver.
the headache.
He already
He
has
already
Michael
have another
Thomas. He
headache at
doesn't
wide
want to complete the
receiver.
set.
Yeah, He doesn't want to compound that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a long shot, even though it's an obvious fit as far as need. I would.
Yep.
I don't know what's up.
I think the Raiders, man.
Could be the Ravens.
You really think so?
Not.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. We'll see. This week will be telling.
Chiefs. I don't think it's the Packers. They got enough to deal with right now.
They definitely.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe the Packers because they lost Tanyan, right? And they're firmly in the playoff hunt.
Not
Yeah.
a lateral move, but like pass catcher.
Right, just to get another playmaker out there, but I don't know if that's in the cards now. And people are been making the Patriots speculations. I don't see that.
No,
Mac
Jones, but he's a rookie. This is a very delicate situation with Goodell.
Yeah, if they let go of Cam Newton because they didn't want somebody looking over his shoulder and creating problems for Mac Jones in his rookie season, the last thing they want to do is to bring in thought to be diva wide receiver in the middle of a sticky situation, to say the least. That could impact Mac Jones in a negative way because he's just been showing promise. I don't think they want to interrupt that with anything that they would bring in the
I kind of think that's the case. We have breaking news.
What's up?
And I just got the notification. A couple people are dropping it in the chat now. Tua Tagovailoa out. He has a fracture. Is it in his finger?
Oof. I'm sorry, you guys. I need to make a lineup change. You need to give me
make that lineup change. This is what we're here. Yeah, Dolphin quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. This is from Sleeper. Has a small fracture in the middle finger of his throwing hand that has not recovered enough.
Jacoby Brissett
Start today's
time,
game
yo.
against the
Jacoby
Texans.
Brissett time.
Jacoby Brissett now is the Dolphins quarterback today. Okay. I'll be this change of Jalen Waddle or Mike Gesicki all that
They're still
much.
getting. I mean, they might be more of a bet to get 12, 11 targets, and I think this helps out Gaskin a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you got to think they'll run the ball a bit more. I think Gesicki is fine if you were planning to start him. I think Waddle is fine if you were planning to start him. And Gaskin, I think probably gets a little bit of a boost because I think Gaskin's 20-point game came when Jacoby was the quarterback.
I'm sorry, I'm still trying to make this lineup change.
Make your lineup change. No, what I was gonna, what I was saying was I think it's a big game. Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback when he had those
Getting all
touchdowns.
those targets. That was Jacoby
Yep.
Brissett.
Yep. Gaskin gets a bit of a, but yeah, Tua Tagovailoa is. So if you were planning to start Tua, he's a safe drop in 10 team, in any type of one quarterback situation. Tua is a safe drop. If you were planning on starting Tua, let us know what your options are on the waiver wire. We can hopefully try to help out with that.
I'm just throwing it out there right now. I'm swerving from Tua to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, if Daniel Jones is available, that's a good fit.
In Las Vegas. Yep.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is a good pivot back. Kadarius Toney is in. He has rushing upside. Should be fine. If Daniel Jones isn't there, let us know. If you're in a situation with Tua, let us know. Um, Underdog Fantasy has Waddle, 68.5 yards. That's probably going to come now. Mike Williams at 59.5. Yeah, so and to this point, with Jacoby being the quarterback now for the Dolphins, I'm still fine with playing Jalen Watt over Mike Williams if you still, if you like the matchup and situation against what Mike Williams has to go up.
It is enough to swerve me off it, because we've seen, unless you're in a full PPR league where we've seen Jalen Waddle get 12 targets, 11 receptions, 48 yards. That was a legit stat line, which isn't helping you in standard. So unless you're in some sort of points per reception league,
so you would go back to Mike Williams in a bad matchup.
Yeah, unless it's PPR.
Fair. Obviously, it's the much better quarterback in Herbert. I think I'm still okay with Waddle in a good matchup, but changes things a little bit, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah. Tony doesn't have defense rostered. Do I drop Landry Sanders for a defensive role without Booker or Hubbard? Are drop options as well.
I would drop McNichols over any of those guys, bro. I wouldn't be dropping Landry, Ridley, or Sanders. I mean, Ridley, it's too unknown of a situation for me to just let go of Ridley outright, because when he's playing, he's at worst a wide receiver 2 for your team, and at best, he's a top 5 wide receiver when he's on. I don't know if we'll see that this year. I'm not dropping him.
You're not dropping Ridley?
Not yet.
He was placed on that
I know.
NFI list, so he
it's
has to miss. It's like
it's
like IR. He needs to miss 3 weeks.
So I'm willing to hold Ridley on mental IR. Just hope that he gets his mind right.
In the hope that he still comes back, could come back this year.
I hope
it's a
that
big roll of the dice.
I hope that he's just good as a person. I don't need him to come back to football, but
right. This is secondary.
But when he's on, he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. I'm not dropping him over a 3-game absence is what it is right now. A lot of unknowns with it, but it's a 3-game absence. I'm dropping McNichols because he has a floor. He has a ceiling of 12 targets. I don't know if he sees that as. I don't know if he sees J.D. McKissick, Nyheim Hines usage moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I would drop him over any of those wide receivers.
That's fine. Fine. Yeah. I know you just picked up McNichols, Tony, I'm sure, but if you want to get a defense, if you want a defense this week, he's the guy to. That's fine. If you're not ready to move off of Ridley yet, that's understandable. And don't drop Landry or Sanders. If you can find a way to start Landry today, that might be a good move.
Yeah. I mean, and if you just want to stick to your guns and roll without a defense, I mean, I'm never going to advise that. I'm always going to advise try to win your week. And you can, there's a chance McNichols doesn't do anything and you look smart. I don't. Could blow up and you look stupid. I don't know, man, but I would try to win the week. I would try to win the week
go for the win this week.
Picking up the hot ad.
If you're not going to start McNichols anyway, then you can drop him.
You also have Gibson,
who you're not dropping.
Right. So you got a couple of people on your squad who you can't drop, but you can't be playing yet. They have question marks, so that it stinks. But yeah, you got to be dropping somebody like McNichols if it was me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Casey Royals, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining in with the chat. Marcus, it's good to see you, bro.
What's up, Marcus?
It's game day. Hell yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
man, we're doing good. Again, man, we're recording in the same. We're live from the same place.
Same spot. Same exact spot. It's cool.
Yes, sir. You got Justin Herbert on your team. Is Taysom Hill worth a stash? Have an open roster spot? Not to me.
No. The fact that he's not starting. In a one quarterback league with Herbert past his bye.
I know they like to play gadget with him in the red zone, but they did just sign another. They just go out and trade for another running back to come in to shoulder some of the workload from Kamara. So
yep,
those aren't guaranteed to go to.
Hill might get 12 goal line touches, but that's a major maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's and that's probably his upside right now.
Yeah, unless you're counting on him having another 2-touchdown game.
Right. Like he's mixing in as the backup. The only way he gets value is if Simeon gets hurt.
Yep.
Or well, maybe he plays terribly, but they think enough of him to start over Taysom Hill, who has been with this team forever. So no, in a quarterback league where you have a really good quarterback past his bye week, Taysom Hill is not.
Yep. What's going on, Ryan Righteous? Should I start Van Jefferson or Cortland Sutton in a full PPR league? Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, I love Van, but like that's a tier break. Gotta go Sutton.
I know Sutton's had a down few weeks, but he leads the NFL in air yards through 8 games.
Yup.
I know he's got to share the field now with Judy again, which will impact him moving forward. But he's got a great matchup this week.
Mm-hmm.
And Van Jefferson, Van Jefferson, he's the 3rd to 4th option on this team, whereas Cortland Sutton's the 1st or 2nd on any given day.
Yeah, I would keep.
Yep.
I know he's going to see Diggs. He's going to see Trayvon Diggs, but you know, the game where the Broncos are going to have to throw a little bit more than they probably want to, if as expected, going up against the Cowboys and their offense.
Yep. Agreed.
Sutton.
Kyle, no, hey, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Of course.
DST question for Nick. There you go, bro.
Streaming the Pats defense this week. Any team you have ranked over the Patriots? I mean, yeah. So I understand to playing against Sam Darnold right now. But I'm not sure I want to play New England on the road. I'm not like I like it. I don't love it. Like I might be a little bit more interested in the team they're playing. Their defense. Is Carolina available? Like Stephon Gilmore is in there now. He's given that team a boost. I believe they're right up there at the top of the league as far as sacks.
They're right up. They're 2nd in the league against fantasy running backs. They give it the 2nd least amount of points.
And the Patriots offense
5th amount of points to wide receivers, so they're stopping all positions right now.
Patriots offense is giving up lots of points to opposing defenses. Yeah, I mean, is Carolina out there? That I would flip to that team. I would flip directly to the other side of the ball. And if you have to drop New England to do that, I'm fine with that too. If Carolina's not there, you could keep them in, but you could keep the Patriots in. They're fine this week. I don't love them this week. I'm trying to think if there's any other teams I like. And then, I already mentioned this as a stream to I think it was Casey Royals. Miami is fine this week, I think, against Houston. That'd be a little bit
earlier. Yep.
It'd be a little bit of a deeper stream, but I think the matchup is much more favorable for Miami than the New England defense has this week, even going up against Sam Darnold.
Yo, Bender and John Wagner, thank you
Bender,
so much.
what's going on, man? Everybody wipe your feet.
Hey, yeah. Hey, and Bender, thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks so much
for always supporting the channel. You too, John.
Appreciate that.
Let's get to Bender's question first, and then we'll circle back up to where we were in the regular chat. But we're gonna get to these questions real quick. Javonte Williams, Derek Gore, or Bryan Edwards standard?
Javonte, right?
I would go Javonte.
It's not a great matchup this week, but to the point that I just made about the Broncos, likely if we think game script goes as expected, where the Cowboys are maybe playing with a lead, they're a much more electric offense than the Broncos have. Javonte Williams Melvin Gordon has been steady and solid, but Javonte Williams has produced some juice for that offense.
Yeah, he's been electric.
He's produced some juice for that offense. I think Javonte Williams catches some passes today. I know that doesn't help in standard, but I think he's going to be called upon a little bit more, or I would expect they maybe give him an extra touch or two here. They need some explosion. They need to keep pace with a strong offense on the road. Bryan Edwards is enticing. In standard, he's a little less enticing. And then Derek Gore, I got to wait and see on Derek Gore. I know he did well last game. Was that a product of that specific environment, situation, and matchup? Or is this going to become a trend? We don't know. He would be third for me. So I would go Javonte, Bryan Edwards, and then Gore. Edge to Javonte as the running back, who I think has officially locked himself into, anywhere from 12 to 15 touches.
Nick has been high on Javonte all season, and while Javonte has not been as stellar as Nick's opinions would have you to believe sometimes on a week-to-week basis.
He hasn't been.
Because this is standard, and because there's a lot of unknowns in Vegas right now, and because Derek Gore is legitimately an unknown right now, and I think he's a short-term option. I would go Javonte Williams because he's one of their short-term and their long-term option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think order-wise, you're right, and it's standard. It's standard
Williams,
that sways
Edwards,
it for me. It's not an irrational love for Javonte Williams. It's the league format in which he plays.
I don't have an irrational love for Javonte Williams. I traded him. Whatever. I traded him.
All right, John Wagner. Challenge time, guys. All right. We're up to it. Pick two running backs: Freeman, Scott, Wilson, Sony, Mike Davis, Scotty Phillips. Ooh.
Dang.
All right. Well, for me, it's Mike Davis for one.
You're playing Davis.
Yeah. If you're picking two running backs, I'm playing Davis and.
Go Boston Scott.
It's between Boston Scott and surprisingly Devonta Freeman for me. Because Latavius
Murray is out.
But yeah, with this range, with this tier of running backs, you're just going for the guys that are going to get the most touches. Scotty Phillips is playing with three other guys. You can't count on him to get the most touches.
Do you think Devonta Freeman gets the most touches then? Because obviously Mike Davis has a Patterson problem.
Mike Davis last game got, I think, 5 targets thrown his way. He had usage.
I think he caught them all.
He had more usage that looked like Cordell Patterson's usage than we've seen pretty much at all, and this was without the second game without Ridley. I think that trend might continue because they don't have a lot of options that are going to pick up the load there.
Tajay Short.
sure, dude. So I think Mike Davis, he's going to get more passes thrown his way, and they're going to split. They've been rocking with like 13 rushes.
He's getting work. Yeah.
Cordell gets 13. Mike Davis gets 13. Cordell usually has a better yards per carry average and has more targets and more catches and more yards, but I think the targets are still going to be there for Mike Davis moving forward. And I would go.
Just trying to see. So then is it between
Scott and
Freeman and Scott?
Yep.
Freeman the past couple of weeks. His last week was the Ravens' bye. The only reason Freeman came through was because he got a touchdown. He had 4 carries for 14 yards, caught 3 balls for 25.
Yeah.
But he scored. But Latavius Murray was out that game as well. He didn't get a ton of work. He came through on limited touches. Boston Scott in a great matchup.
Yep.
Boston Scott in a great matchup.
They're giving up 25 points to opposing fantasy running backs. 25.
I think the move is I'm fine with the
The Vikings are giving up 20.
Well, I'm in agreement. I'm fine with Davis and Scott. Got to see something from Jeff Wilson first. Sony is a handcuff right now. Could come through, but is very dicey. And Freeman might get some work, but even as the clear-cut guy right now, he's not getting he's not getting the workload that we feel comfortable with. So, yeah, I'm good with Boston Scott and Mike Davis.
Yeah, and you say Jordan Howard. Boston Scott got it done with Jordan Howard playing a ridiculous amount of snaps last week. So,
yeah.
So I'm still on the Boston Scott bandwagon because
I'm fine with him for this week.
Like we said yesterday, if it's a Jordan Howard game, Boston Scott's still involved. If it's a Kenneth Gainwell game, Boston Scott is still involved.
Yep.
So I'd go Boston Scott here. But as for your wide receivers, Tony, Kirk, Renfro. Now, DeAndre Hopkins, it looks like he's not going to be playing.
Yep.
He's very, very questionable.
Sounds like not optimistic on the hamstring.
So you got to pick
injury.
2 wide receivers. This is kind of tough.
This is tough. I'm inclined to say Tony and Renfro because it's also possible Kyler is out.
Yes, that's the swaying factor for me too. If
Of those three, who's definitely in?
if Colt
Tony?
McCoy, I believe, is going to be the Cardinals.
He's the
quarterback.
Cardinals'
if
backup quarterback.
Colt McCoy is the #1 quarterback and Christian Kirk is the #1 wide receiver, that's not something I'm chasing. I would rather have.
Kirk's been steady, but obviously that's with Kyler.
I would rather have Renfro, and I would rather have Tony.
Is Tony the clear, like the regardless start?
I might be a little too high on Tony because he came out the gate so hot, and I feel like
Tony
we still haven't seen him full force yet. But
Right.
I just that upside with Tony is so tantalizing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Got to go with Tony and Renfro. Thank you very much for the supers, you guys.
Yeah, appreciate
You got
that
any
very
more
much.
questions? Throw them in the chat.
I'm fine with the Renfro. I would give the edge to Kirk if Kyler was playing, even limited Kyler was playing. But I think he's gonna. But he has not been ruled out yet. But none of the reports are good.
Yeah.
It's all been like pessimistic. So to that point, I would go Renfro over Kirk.
Yep.
And just real quick, the Jordan Howard guys, don't forget, the Eagles are not going to blow the Chargers out 44-6. I think that's why Howard got so much work. They were able to just run all over a bad Lions team.
The
Chargers are not the
Lions.
Lions.
Were giving up the most fantasy points to opposing running backs.
Yeah, I think Howard is. I think Howard is used less so today. I think we go back to Gainwell, and yeah, Boston Scott's involved. So.
Michael Marshall, we're going up back to the regular
let's go.
chat.
We'll
What's
go
going
back
on,
up.
Bro? Who would y'all flex 12-team full PPR? Mark Ingram, Rashad Bateman, or Tim Patrick?
I'm just coming back.
Rashad
up.
Bateman.
12-team full PPR. Yeah, Bateman.
Yep.
Yeah. Ingram, not yet. And Tim Patrick with Judy back.
And
like you said.
Alberto back.
Yep. Bateman.
Yep. Ryan Nolly, what's going on? Eli Mitchell or Javonte Williams? These are the questions.
A rib injury.
These are the questions that keep Nick up at night.
I know.
He's staring at the ceiling, envisioning chessboards, but the chessboards I have Elijah Mitchell or Javonte Williams.
Elijah Mitchell or Javonte Williams.
Yep.
This is my nightmare. I want to say Javonte. This is a toss up.
If they were
Cardinals
both healthy,
are not a good matchup for running backs.
They were both healthy, Eli Mitchell, and it's not close for me.
It's not a good matchup for San Francisco. It's a meh matchup for Javonte Williams. The Cowboys are about the middle of the pack in running back points allowed. You think it's Eli Mitchell not close?
If he was healthy. If he was all the way healthy,
right?
It's Eli Mitchell, no question.
Yeah, like those questionable tags. You always got to worry, like, is their workload going to be scaled back a little bit?
Yeah.
Javonte's healthy. Is it half or full PPR, Ryan? Like, are you getting points for catches? Because if you are, then Javonte. Maybe Javonte anyway, just because he's not on the injury report. And I think not a significant amount, but I think a slight extra amount is asked of Javonte today, as far as like, let's throw him an extra touch or two, see if he can make another, like, a big, give us a spark.
It's possible. It's possible. I just don't know if it.
So are you still on, even though he's questionable with a rib injury, would you go Eli? I think that's the difference for me. I think the fact that Javonte's healthy and Eli is questionable.
Well, Javonte is not technically not their pass catching back. They use them both in a pass catching role.
Yeah, they do. But Javonte. But
Melvin Gordon is. I know he fumbled on
they
the
both
last play
catch
of the game,
balls,
but he's coming off a 2-touchdown game. He's technically had the hotter hand all season. I know Javonte Williams has been consistently electric, but he hasn't had a ton of boom weeks like Melvin Gordon has on basically the same amount of work.
I lean Javonte. Elijah Mitchell's probably going to continue to get the lion's share of work out of this backfield for at least one more week, but it is a tough matchup.
17.8 fantasy points to opposing running backs the Dallas Cowboys are giving up.
Now the Cardinals. Now the
And
Cardinals have
then
been
you
putting up.
need to split that down the middle though, because there's two guys there getting equal amount of work. So 17.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're looking at around 10 points.
Less than 10. Nine points.
And the Cardinals have been putting up their strong numbers against the run with J.J. Watt. They will not have him for the rest of the season.
And they're not. Most teams are not going to be. I don't think they're going to need to have an offensive explosion against the Cardinals to win this week because of their deficient offense
quarterback
right now.
situation
And their wide receiver situation. It's not just if it was Colt McCoy, but they had their full wide receivers. I would feel a little bit better about the chances of running up the score and stuff. But yeah, game script should be in the opposing running back's favor.
So Mitchell.
I'm going Mitchell.
Okay.
Yep.
I lean Javonte. Sorry, Ryan. We're splitting this. Also, my video is like.
I'm switching back and forth between the pages, and when I do that, your screen blips out. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay.
That's what happens when I'm looking things up.
Okay. Statmaster over there.
Hey, we'll get a better situation at some point, but
we'll get a better
again,
situation.
this was on the
Sorry
fly.
about the glitchy video, but yeah. So, and Ryan, we're kind of split on this. John likes Eli Mitchell this week. I think I slightly prefer Javonte Williams. So maybe we throw it to the chat, see what the chat thinks. What does everybody think between Elijah Mitchell and Javonte Williams this week? See if we can help Ryan.
And we are going to try to speed through these questions because we have a lot built up, and we were gonna. The plan this week was not to go up to 1 o'clock because Nick is here. We want to chill with some of the guys back home and watch football.
We're gonna watch some rhythm, but
so
we want to help. First, we want to help.
First, we want to help, but the plan was to be out here by 12. So we're gonna try to get as most done here.
Like another hour.
Giving you guys informed content as always, but within the next 45 minutes, gonna try to see if we can get through what's
you said
in
45,
here.
I said an hour. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we've been disagreeing all day.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. But yeah, thanks for your question.
Yep.
Thanks for your question, bro.
And Mark has a thoughts on Elijah Mitchell versus Jeff Wilson.
Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell's the play today. We gotta see Wilson first. If you have them both, cool. But Mitchell's the play.
Yeah, and there's a chance we might not see Jeff Wilson's season until if something happens to Mitchell or if Mitchell goes down.
This could be an emergency situation.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I think he was activated I would say at least a week ahead of as anticipated, which is great news for Wilson. But right, this could be a situation where it's like we're not playing him unless we absolutely have to.
Yep. Jew Garage, what's going on? Pat Fryermuth versus the Bears D or Tyler Conklin versus the Ravens D?
Would you believe? I think the Ravens are giving up lots of points to tight ends.
They're giving up the most, 16.2. The Bears look to be top. They're giving up 5.1 fantasy points to opposing running backs. So don't play Pat Fryermuth this week. Opposing tight ends. Don't play Pat Fryermuth this week. Play Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, I think Conklin.
Yep.
Although Khalil Mack is out for the Bears, I think.
Don't care. That disparity.
Yeah, I know it's
5.1 fantasy points through 8 games versus 16.2.
Man, I think I picked up Fryermuth somewhere. Now I gotta drop him
For Tyler Conklin. Yeah, do it.
All right. I'm getting there.
PPR, yeah.
Getting there.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah, Conklin. So Tober, what's going on? Should I start Debo? Yes.
Yeah, if Debo's starting, you start him.
If he plays, he's in your lineup.
What's going on, bro? Hey, ATG, yeah, thanks for joining us again. I know you were in here last night. Marvin Jones,
what's going
on?
on?
Flex asked this yesterday,
Yeah, so I think to that point, I think Debo's in. So Marvin Jones.
Yep.
I know the matchup is brutal,
They're gonna need him.
They need him. Yeah, Debo Samuel expected to play, so
Garbage time points are still points.
Marvin Jones.
Yep. Michael Marshall, who won this trade, 12-team full PPR. Cole Beasley, Jerry Jeudy, and Khalil Herbert for Leonard Fournette. The guy that gave up, the guy that got Khalil Herbert, Jerry Jeudy, and Cole Beasley won the trade.
I mean, that's so much to work with.
Yeah.
I think that's just Jeudy.
I like Leonard Fournette just as much as anybody, but Leonard Fournette and Khalil Herbert are going to be the same guy the rest of the season, don't you think? I mean, Fournette has more upside, but I think
Fournette has more upside.
Fournette are going to be almost comparable, and you gave up Jeudy and Cole Beasley, whoever that is. If you got that, great job, but you gave that up. That's rough.
It's a little much for Leonard Fournette, as good as he has been this year.
Yeah.
A little much. Yeah, Judy is going to return to being a regular in lineups. I think. I do. And Herbert is not. I don't think Herbert goes away with Montgomery, even when Montgomery comes back. And Beasley's not a start every week. Like, we're not really advocating for him this week, even in a great matchup because of his questionable tag. But he's more than serviceable. He's going to have his weeks. It's a lot for a 3-for-1. I know it's a starting running back if you really needed a running back, like a guy who you feel like is going to get the lion's share of touches out of the backfield. And it's a good backfield, or it's a good offense in Tampa. That's a lot. That's like a 3-for-1 for a guy like Fournette. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, I brought this up yesterday with David Montgomery. He has 2 weeks this season where he had 59 snaps and 69% of snaps.
Nice.
59% of snaps and
I wish it was
62% of snaps. Right. Shut up.
Nice.
But that means that, I mean, just over a 50% snap share in 2 games, and in those games he got a touchdown in both of them and was over 100 yards in both of them. So that means that Khalil Herbert can still have a role in this offense, and coexist with David Montgomery, but that does not diminish David Montgomery's value in this offense.
No,
it actually
not at
keeps him healthy because he was banged up, coming back from an injury. So David Montgomery, we were high on him being a
We're
running back
him
one.
I'm still pumping him for the second half, but Herbert, Montgomery's not going to get 30 touch workloads.
Right, Herbert's going to stay
involved.
involved. So yeah, that trade kind of hurts. If,
A 3-for-1. I mean, if
there.
you got the Beasley side, the Judy side, great. If not,
all right,
anyway.
Richie, what's going on? Started banged up Debo or Goddard? Question mark
Debo.
PPR. It's just his
That was the
PPR. It's, yeah.
PPR? Debo. I know he's banged up, but that's a tear break for me.
Yeah.
The Chargers, I think, it's a good matchup for tight ends.
I'm not going away from Debo. If you got the chance to start Debo, I don't care if he's banged up. You're starting Debo.
Yeah, the Chargers do give up a lot of points to opposing tight ends, so it's a good matchup for Goddard. I would think Goddard delivers this week, but Debo is a ceiling play. Debo's a ceiling play.
Yep.
I know he's hurt, or I know he's banged up. Debo is always an injury concern, or has been thus far throughout his career. But if he's in your lineup.
Yep. Hey, Mr. Amazing Man, what's going on? What's
up,
going
Mr.
on?
Amazing
McNichols versus Mitchell versus Hyde.
Mitchell,
and it's not hard for me. I know Hyde is going to be the de facto number 1 this week, but he's playing the Bills, who give up 14.9 fantasy points to opposing running backs, and they played Derrick Henry with a 3-touchdown game, and that's skewing the numbers even further. But they're the best team against running backs even with that game, so you stay away from the Bills when the running backs playing the Bills, and that includes Hyde. So Mitchell.
Yes.
Mitchell. Tyler Moore, what's going on? Pretty weak at wide receiver.
And we're not, and we got McNichols is wait and see.
Yep.
Yeah, Mitchell. Sorry.
Pretty weak at receivers this week. Have to start 2 between Bateman, Ayuk, Galladay, and Tony.
Well, Tony, I think, is definitely in, and I would go Bateman. Galladay's got to get through a game.
Yeah.
Galladay's got to get through a game. And Ayuk, I know he had a good game last week. I think he had 7 targets, most he had all season. But Debo's playing, and Kittle is playing, even though it's the pitch count.
Yep.
Bateman and Tony.
Agreed. Elias, your 4 and 4 other running backs are Mixon, Mitchell, Javonte, and AP. You're not starting Jeff Wilson, so you could drop him. You're talking about with you in conjunction with
he needs to stream a tight end,
right.
So maybe but it might just be to your concern about
if you're
the Bears matchup. You might be looking at having to pick up like Ruth if you wait, if he's still available.
True.
I guess the follow-up question, Elias, and I know we took a little while to get to this, but like, who are the tight ends that are available to pick up? Like, if Conklin is there, then yeah, let's find a way to get Conklin on your roster.
But at the expense of dropping Alex Collins, when you have Mixon, Mitchell, Javonte, AP, Jeff Wilson, I mean, then at that point, yeah, you're hoping he's your 4th guy behind Mixon, Mitchell, Javonte.
Right.
Alex Collins in that position, I'd be fine. If you need to drop a depth running back to pick up a tight end to win this week when you have 3 running backs ahead of them, I'm fine with that. If it was 2, maybe not. If he was your third, if you were flexing Alex Collins, maybe not. If he's purely a bye week fill-in for you, basically based on your roster, then go out and get the tight end to start this week. And Conklin's not a bad guy to go after.
Yeah, with it.
Xavier, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Xavier?
Ethan, yo, glad we could help.
Yeah.
Chris,
hopefully that helps.
What's going on? AJ Brown or Marquise Brown? AJ Brown.
Yeah. Oh, man, that sucks. You got to pick between the two of them, but it's AJ.
It's not hard for me. It's AJ.
It's AJ. Hollywood's having a good year.
He's having a good year.
But it's AJ.
I'm not pulling teeth. This is not a hard decision.
No,
it's
I know, but it's just,
Yeah.
It's AJ.
Josh, what's going on? Bridgewater or Tyrod Taylor? Bridgewater?
That's tough.
What has Tyrod done this year when he's started?
I can't remember because he hasn't played that much.
Just a report: Jacksonville Jaguars running back James Robinson will not play. So
there you go.
That doesn't.
James Robinson officially out.
But
I think everybody was expecting that.
Hyde is still a stay away from me.
Yeah. I mean, Tyrod probably has more rushing upside. I like the Dolphins as a stream this week, but the contrarian angle there is like there's nothing scary about them as a matchup. Tyrod could come through.
Against Jacksonville, he got 23.6 fantasy points.
He's going against Miami.
The next game against Cleveland, he had 16.5.
Miami's given up good production to quarterback. Or sorry.
He has a good.
Yes, he is. He's going against Miami.
He has
Miami's
a good schedule rest of the season.
I think Tyrod.
You think Tyrod?
I think Tyrod over Bridgewater.
Getting Nico Collins more involved, getting Brevin Jordan more involved for what it's worth.
Might run a little bit.
Going to be forced to run a little bit.
Might run a little bit. Miami's given up lots of production to quarterbacks.
All right, surprise decision. You're going Tyrod Taylor.
I would go Tyrod. No, I mean, why is this? I'm not like I was all in on, or I liked Bridgewater last week and he laid an egg. He's just very matchup based. I like the game script for Bridgewater today. But I think I like the overall situation for Tyrod a little bit better.
Yeah, Miami's giving up the third most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks.
Shoot, if you were planning on starting Tua, if Tyrod's available, go grab Tyrod. I'll officially just throw that one out there.
Yep, that is a good matchup.
Tyrod.
Yep. Trying to find where Dallas is. Dallas is bottom 10. I mean, bottom 12.
That's a tougher matchup.
20.8 fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks.
It's a tougher matchup.
You're talking a 2-point difference. Is that enough to sway you? 2-point difference? Sorry, your video glitched out again. I was looking up stats.
Yes, it is.
2-point difference in the edge of Taylor.
Bridgewater is we called him matchup based yesterday.
Yep.
Bridgewater's matchup
Tyrod
based.
is too.
Well, but then so give me the slight edge to the guy who's in a better matchup.
Okay. All right.
Tyrod.
Theo, what's going on? Instead of dropping Justin Jackson, would you guys rather drop Mims or Zay Jones for Jamar Jefferson?
No.
Mims? I mean...
Over Justin. I mean, Mims, the only obvious...
yeah, what's the upside?
You called the Mims in the offseason. You were essentially like, I'm all off Mims. He's nothing. And that appears to be correct. But he's still pretty young in a bad organization. If you're in a rebuilding situation... There is an argument where Justin Jackson is less valuable to you than Denzel Mims, who could still maybe resurrect his situation maybe on a different team. Like, you're not expecting
Mims is
the world
still like
from him
23, 24. Justin Jackson, we already addressed, is like 26 at this point, and he plays
I think
a more
Justin Jackson's like
position.
a 26-year-old running back versus a 23-year-old wide receiver. I know he's done nothing.
If you're gonna get if you're gonna get rid of one of those wide receivers, it'd be Zay Jones for me. But
despite the expected
I would
workload
drop
increase.
Justin. Yeah, I don't see it, bro. Sorry.
With Zay Jones.
I know we had some comments in the Brian Edwards videos that I made talking about how Zay Jones catches everything thrown his way, and Zay Jones is underrated.
It's been like 7 targets.
He
gets 1 target a game. More than Mims.
It is more than Mims. I do have to say, but
Jackson.
Maybe I'm still hung up on the prospect that was Denzel Mims coming in.
Jackson's a 26-year-old backup running back. I think he's the cut.
And the team has
Theo's rebuilding. He's not trying
back-to-back-
to win this year.
back-to-back
Jackson's not going
years,
to help.
The Chargers have drafted running backs. They drafted Joshua Kelly 2 years ago. They drafted, or a year ago.
Yeah, they drafted Joshua Kelly and then
Roundtree
Larry
this past
Roundtree.
year. And like we said earlier in this stream, there's a really good chance that they do it again because they haven't found their answer yet. They haven't found their Melvin Gordon to
companion
pair
for
with.
Austin
Yeah,
Eckler.
yeah. I think they're still looking for that, and it's not.
I think
Justin
Jackson's
Jackson.
the drop. I know Mims and Zay Jones don't inspire a ton of confidence, but Zay Jones is officially like a desperation spot start rest of season. Not that, again, Theo's rebuilding, but Justin Jackson's not.
Hey,
And
if
Mims
Zay
is
Jones,
at least, again, 23 years old.
If
Like,
Zay Jones can Travis Fulgham for 6 games, then you sell him, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
hell
And
yeah.
I don't see Justin Jackson putting up a stretch like that. So yeah.
No,
Yeah,
not
you
with-
drop
yeah.
Justin Jackson
Justin
and
Jackson
you
is
pick
the-
up Jamar
is the
Jefferson,
drop.
you keep your wide receivers, hope that they have a few spike weeks and you can sell based off of that because they're still technically young. Yep. Defense question for you, bro.
Yeah, sorry, it's either Dallas or San Francisco. I think they're both right there. Without Kyler Murray and without DeAndre Hopkins, I think I give the slight edge to the 49ers. They're at home, and Arizona's coming in hurting. They're pretty banged up. If they have to start Colt McCoy, I'll take the 49ers against that.
Yeah.
I'll give
agree with you.
Slim. I'll give a slight edge to San Francisco because and what's going on, by the way? I don't know if we said hi already.
What's going on, bro?
San Francisco, DeAndre Hopkins, all the reports are bad. It's not optimistic he plays. Kyler Murray, all the reports are bad.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's like they traveled with the team, but they're not going to play them. What the hell? So the 49ers. I mean, the Broncos, the only thing they have going for them is they have their starters. Like Teddy Bridgewater's in. Drew Lock is going to miss this game. So obviously, if Teddy Bridgewater has to exit at any point, like I think Brett Ripien is the backup quarterback. So obviously that would be great for Dallas. But it doesn't sound good for Arizona today between Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins, and AJ Green is out as well. So
Important to note. Yep.
pretty short-handed is this Arizona offense. So I would say the Niners.
There you go. There you go, Slim. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
KBKC, what's going on? AP or Galladay? AP. Galladay again. Gotta be healthy.
I think
AP.
so. Yeah.
Crazy
I mean,
to say, AP.
That's why. I mean, we could say this. Like, we got to see Galladay get through a game. I guess we got to see AP in a game. But
I'd rather roll my dice with.
I think I'd rather roll my dice with a Hall of Famer over a guy over Galladay, who has. I know he's
stepping
in.
to the most valuable role for running backs over the last 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah, Galladay has not. He needs to. He's a greater threat to like re-aggravate something than Adrian Peterson is, even as a 36-year-old running back.
Yep.
AP. Yeah, I'm on board.
Brandon Cadiz, what's going on, bro?
What's up, Brandon?
Tony, Brian Edwards, Boyd, or Julio, a wide receiver 2.
Tony?
Yep.
Tony. I think that order. I think that's in that order is your Tony, then Brian Edwards, Julio or Boyd. I would. Nah, I prefer Boyd over Julio right now. But Tony.
Cadiz is a city in Spain. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Your last name, Brandon. City in Spain.
Oh.
Crumply Heads, what's going on? Yeah, Tua is out.
What's up, Crumbly Heads?
It's unfortunate because he needs to put up.
this was.
He needs to put up a stretch of games to prove that he could be the future for the Dolphins, or else he's going to end up like Mariota in a few years.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to end up looking like Mariota in a few years. I don't know if he just keeps getting banged up. And when he's in, it's like you see flashes, and then he gets banged up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can continue. Man, it's tough. It's tough.
It's difficult.
It's tough. But you got to swerve. I swerved today, picked up Daniel Jones. Anybody out there in a
Jones,
similar situation?
Tyrod, even Derek Carr if you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, Slim, he got a kicker question for you, bro.
Oh boy. There's always so much pressure on these guys. Boswell, Gold, McLaughlin, or Hopkins. Oh, this was okay. Sorry, this was from yesterday. I'm leaning Hopkins. Although Slim, am I remembering correctly? Did you have Jake Elliott as an option as well? I might like Elliott a little bit more as the home team, but one of those two kickers in that Eagles-Chargers game, I think you're more than fine with. So if Hopkins is the guy that you want to pivot to between those two, that's fine. The Eagles aren't necessarily a great matchup for kickers necessarily, but this is a good Chargers offense against a not very good Eagles defense, who overperformed last week, and I think they come back to the mean a little bit this week, playing a much better team in the Chargers. I think they move the ball just fine against the Eagles defense. I think Hopkins is going to have plenty of opportunities. He kicked for Washington for several years, so he knows the stadium as far as the Eagles stadium, as far as like the elements and the environment in there. He's not unknown to it. I'm okay with Hopkins this week.
All right.
I'm good with Hopkins.
What about N Savvy's quarterback question?
What's up, N Savvy?
Brissett, Baker, Matt Ryan, Bridgewater. Matt Ryan playing New Orleans.
Yeah.
Mac playing Panthers. Neither of those are good matchups.
No, they're not. Do you just pivot straight to the backup and just go with Jacoby?
I think you might look for what is going on within the next few games. Maybe we're not sure how this Tua injury in his hand, is it going to affect him for more than one game?
It's a fracture in his finger,
right,
on his throwing hand.
So I might be looking ahead to see what the matchups are for the next few games if I'm relying on Tua.
Let's take a look. So to that point, do you just pick up Brissett?
I don't know. I got to look at the strength of schedule moving forward. This is a little bit more of an involved question.
He gets Houston today, good matchup. Baltimore next week, not a situation you want to probably start Jacoby Brissett. And then he gets the Jets and the Panthers, both by the numbers, not great matchups. But the Jets are not scary on paper. We saw the Colts completely dismantle them on Thursday night.
I mean, all these guys have. Bridgewater's the only quarterback here who's getting players added on to what he's playing with. Baker lost for what it's worth, lost a playmaker.
I'm not Baker. I don't think I want Matt Ryan on a tough defense.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, tough defense in New Orleans.
Mac Jones didn't lose anybody, but I mean, he's technically dealing with. I mean, his talent
he's
from
rookie on the road against a pretty good defense.
Right, and Bridgewater's has gotten 2 weapons back in the last 2 weeks. I know we were fading him last week.
What about just this week? I have to imagine this is a stream for just this week. To that point, I think I prefer Brissett. If you were going to start Tua in this is a spot start and you don't need, maybe you have Tom Brady or whatever, maybe that's your situation, or Kyler, and you're anticipating them coming back, I think for this week, just pivot directly to Brissett.
It's between Brissett and Bridgewater for me. I know Bridgewater didn't
Bridgewater
have a game
is like
game,
if you want to hang on to a guy like, to your point, for the long haul. But if you just need a guy today, Brissett in a good matchup.
Hey Khalid, your crumply heads? All right.
Oh.
All right. Good to know.
Good to know.
Good shit. Good stuff. Oops. YouTube gonna get cracked down on me. But yeah. What's going on?
They can deal with it.
Yeah, that was me not staying classy. Ew. Chris,
Yep.
Lineup change. Who should we pick?
Is that about Tua?
Yeah, I mean, I would swerve to Daniel Jones if he's available. And
yeah. Tyrod is fine. Like just down to the other, actually to the very next question, Eddie. What's going on, Eddie? Who to start with Kyler out? I think
not Jordan Love.
I think Tyrod. We gotta see Jordan Love first.
Yep, not in the preseason game. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the Chiefs are an appealing matchup, but give me Tyrod.
Hector Martinez, Adrian Peterson, or Elijah Mitchell.
Ooh.
This is they're kind of in. It might be like
very
side to side for me.
This very
this
similar.
week.
Do you give it the edge? Do you give the edge to Mitchell just because?
Yeah.
He's been in there.
Yeah.
I think I'd go Elijah Mitchell. Slight edge.
Yeah, he might not get as much work, but I think he'd still, even if he's banged up, a threat to do more with the touches. He's more explosive at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Elijah Mitchell. Tony Kamaj.
He kept Carr, which is good because he had to.
Yep.
And then Xavier with Brissett as the quarterback. Yes, it downgrades Waddle, but I still think he'll be fine. Like he'll be okay. We just can't expect the world. But I think he's like, if you were planning on starting him, if you were planning on starting him, and it's kind of like you're looking at your other options and it's a tier break, like just start Waddle. I think it'll be all right.
He's going to be targeted a lot. I don't know how much that's going to lead to what kind of offensive output, but the targets are going to be there, and that's you got to chase that. That's all we know at the beginning of the day coming into a fantasy Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of quarterback questions here.
That's okay. Hill's not starting.
And I wouldn't go Simeon either. I would.
Tyrod Taylor. If that's Tyrod, I would go Tyrod. Or no, sorry, Jones. Is Jones Daniel Jones? I would go Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Daniel Jones is if you were planning on, this is a kind of a blanket statement for everybody. If you were planning on starting Tua and Daniel Jones is out there, my pivot is to Daniel Jones.
If Daniel Jones is not out there, then we're pivoting to Taylor. That's our recommendation.
I think that's kind of like where we're going.
Yep.
And good point, but if you have any stacks, if you've got Tony, if you've got Galladay.
Tony with a good point on Tony.
I got him.
Eddie Bueno, what's going on, bro?
Oh, he was playing start. He was playing start too.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So Daniel Jones, or wait, Tyrod Taylor. Eddie, if Daniel Jones is out there, then him. I assume he might not be, given the fact that you asked Jordan Love or Tyrod Taylor. So in that case, Taylor.
Yep. Hey, Big Dummy, what's going
on?
What's up,
Big
Dummy?
Any
trust in Julio Jones for wide receiver? I mean, he's gonna be out there. That's what I trust. He's gonna.
He will be out
there for some kind of snaps. We don't know. He was getting weirdly scaled back snaps in the beginning of the season. Now we don't know if that was injury management, but I believe there were reports at the beginning of the season that Julio was disgruntled with his being taken out of the off the field when he was, by all accounts, healthy and ready to go.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have any trust for Julio until I see it. He's
like, what are your other options? What are your other options? Not trying. If I could pivot off Julio, I would do it.
Yeah, what's the breaking point for you?
Yeah, right. What's your tier break?
Like, what do you got out there?
Right. Who do you go, Julio or Galladay? I think I would go Julio. I don't feel great about it, but
yeah, just because they have nobody else on the offense. We saw last week Danny Dimes go to his tight ends a lot. Kyle Rudolph and Evan Ingram picked up a lot of the slack last week, and I don't know if Tannehill can rely on his trio of tight ends to do something like that.
Jeff Swaim doesn't do it for you.
Michael Pruitt and Anthony Ferguson, no, sorry. So Ferksy. So yeah, I think Julio Jones over Galladay. Just because of the target share he's going to be. But I'm not super confident in Julio.
If that's the situation, then yeah. Let us know what your breaking point is, Big Dummy.
Xavier, you're praying on a pick'em this week. All right.
Pick'ems? Are you looking for like against?
Tell us your pick'ems. Okay.
Against the spread, or like just like some player props?
I can't play pick'ems because I'm in PA. So this
that was legal.
Underdog pick'ems are not legal in PA.
That is rude as hell.
Yeah, I can do everything else on there. When I try to enter pick'ems, it gives me a
player
little
props
alert.
are fun. I don't dab into it too much just because I've got I'm so invested in my leagues and my best balls. I put a lot of work in best balls during the offseason anyway. So like my football player props, I don't do as much. But I mean, we can try to add something into the schedule. Maybe we have like a little quick minute powwow where maybe we talk through some underdog props.
And I mean, as we get deeper into this, because we are still a relatively young channel, we'll continue
still growing.
We'll have DFS.
Well, we love the ideas.
Maybe we'll involve pick'ems if I can ever get at access to doing them, so I can learn how to help advise you guys. Then maybe, but right now,
those are not available. I didn't realize those weren't. Oh man, I gotta change that.
They really do. They really do.
Someone needs to draft up a bill.
I mean, I could skirt it, get a VPN, put it on my phone, pretend I'm in California.
Just project to the world right now your plans.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. Come find me.
Figure it out. But no, Zay, but we appreciate any and all like suggestions. We appreciate that you guys think enough of us to want to see more
man,
of us.
that's a good one to file away. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll stash that one away.
Yep. I wish I could play pick'ems with you, bro.
Yeah.
Yes. Yo, Mr. Amazing Man, Hyde or Mitchell? I feel like Hyde has PPR opportunity because Bill's defense. Mitchell has been injured all week. Plus Wilson. What's the move?
Fair points.
Mitchell.
But Mitchell. Fair points, but Mitchell.
Yep.
I just can't trust a running back against the Bills. I can't do it. I can hardly trust like players ranked significantly higher than Hyde, wherever they are on the, as whatever their position is respectively, against the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills are giving up 14.9 fantasy points to opposing running backs, and the Arizona Cardinals are giving up 17.7.
That's the next closest.
Right. No, that's not the next closest. That's the opponent, I believe.
Okay.
So you're counting on 3 more points going to running backs, but those numbers are skewed. We mentioned it before. That includes for Buffalo defense a play against Derrick Henry, 3 touchdown games. So I would go
Mitchell,
away
despite
from
the
Hyde.
injury.
I'm just never playing a running back that's playing the Bills. Period.
Mitchell, despite the injury and Wilson's return.
Yep.
We said hello to Bender already, but appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And then Xavier's got Waddle or Deep. Well,
Waddle.
Montgomery's not good. I don't
think he plays, but Waddle.
Monday night, here's the question. If you're sitting on David Montgomery until Monday night and he's out, which I feel like is better than likely, or even if he plays, it's just not going to be that much. What's your alternative?
It's not like you can swerve to Damian Williams because he's out. He's out, right?
Waddle. I know Brissett is concerned, but full PPR, Waddle should be safe even with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, that's the perfect situation to play.
That's exactly when you're still feeling fine playing Waddle when it's full PPR, because he could get 8 catches for 30 yards, but that's double-digit points. So.
Yep, that's where I go.
But appreciate the support, Xavier. And always appreciate he's a hype man in this chat for us.
Yes, sir. Always appreciate it, and always appreciate Bender out here. Appreciate you, bro. And John Wagner again. Thank you both for the supers.
And everybody who's still
Bender
hanging out.
Thanks, Bender, for telling everybody to wipe their feet. Appreciate it.
That's my favorite. Emmy, what's going on, Emmy? Pick 2 wide receivers in a flex: Rashad Bateman, T. Higgins, Boston Scott, Robert Woods, Edwards, Ayuk, Darrell Williams.
You're starting Robert Woods.
Yeah.
And you're starting T. Higgins.
I think you're starting T. Higgins
and you're
among that
starting Darrell Williams.
Yes.
I think those are the starts.
I think those are the starts. I didn't know Woods was on the injury report. Let me see. Okay, yeah, he's questionable with the foot.
Keep an eye on that.
Didn't practice Friday.
Keep an eye on that.
Expected to play.
That would be my tentative lineup. If Woods does not go.
Is Van Jefferson available? Emmy, could you?
But
if
between
Woods
Brian
doesn't
Edwards
go,
and Bateman and Ayuk.
But they're all going to have played already.
Yes.
Woods is the Sunday night game. Is Van Jefferson available, Emmy? Could you throw in the event that Woods doesn't go? Because obviously, getting added to the injury report after a Friday practice is always scary. But by all accounts, Robert Woods should play. So I'm operating as if I can start him despite that injury. He's too good to sit, even with a questionable tag. Woods, Higgins, Darrell Williams, and then if you can get a Van Jefferson to back up Robert Woods, that would be that's most ideal.
Yep.
If you have to pivot, obviously find a wide receiver either in the Sunday night game or Monday night game that might be available. But Robert Woods is too good to sit despite this kind of hairy situation where he's questionable in the Sunday night game.
And thanks for your question. Thanks for your question, Emmy. Thanks for joining us. We are going to speed up the chat here because we said we were going to try to come to a close here, and we got more chats, and we appreciate everybody.
That's all right.
Everybody in here asking questions. We're going to try to get to everybody, right? But we're going to speed this up a little bit. Full PPR, Kittle or Higbee from Molly G. What's going on, Molly? Higbee, because full-time role.
Higbee's got an expected.
Kittle is on.
Kittle's good and could come through on limited touches, but that's exactly what he will get today, limited touches. So Higbee.
Yep. Slim, I do not think Gainwell is droppable.
Yeah, I mean, who would you be picking up? Because I think last week was an outlier.
Yeah, who you picking up? Derek Gore? No. I'd rather have Gainwell than any of those guys. Yep.
Yeah.
John Wagner, hey, you're welcome, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Eddie Buenos, start Love or Taylor? We already got to that one.
Tyrod. Yep. Joey, Landry, Sutton, Debo, or Hardman, pick 2. Yes, you got to start Debo even with the injury, and then that's tough between Landry and Sutton. It's not Hardman.
No.
Hardman's out. No. Neither are like spectacular matchups, and both are now their team.
Debo Sutton.
You're going Sutton.
Debo Sutton. Yep.
Debo Sutton.
High upside. Got to go high upside. Debo Sutton.
Sutton is much more is higher upside. Sutton is higher upside than Landry, but Landry's a floor play. Sutton has a floor himself with a better ceiling. So I'm okay with that.
Joey Perps. That's a rapper I used to listen to. Named Joey Perps. Eli, what's going on, bro? All right, let's go. Thanks for the energy in the chat, bro. Always. Yeah. Cassius, what's going on? Waddle, good play with Tua out. Sure.
He's fine.
He's gonna keep getting targets.
Fine. Expect a bit of a downgrade, but if you play in full PPR, if you're playing in standard, like maybe get off of him. But if you're playing in even half PPR, full PPR, if there's like a tier break, he's fine.
Damien Luce, what's going on, bro? Darrell Williams, James Conner, Khalil Herbert, or Jeremy McNichols at RB2 full PPR.
So we're picking one guy in here.
It's between Darrell Williams, James Conner, and Khalil Herbert. McNichols doesn't factor in for me.
I think it's Darrell Williams. It would be Conner, but we got to downgrade this Cardinals offense with probably still hasn't been confirmed, but it all but seems confirmed. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are going to miss. AJ Green, I haven't checked his COVID status update. I assume he's also missing. Conner might get more work as a result, but
less red zone work.
Less chance to get them this touchdowns. Offense is going to it's going to be tough, rougher sledding. So I would go Darrell Williams. I know he disappointed relative to expectations last week, but he still got work.
And it's him over Khalil Herbert, considering you're not going to be playing. You don't think David Montgomery's playing this week?
If Khalil Herbert does it against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is another tough matchup, then I'll never say to bench Khalil Herbert ever again. But let me give the edge, and also Pittsburgh is a tougher matchup against running backs. Not like a middling. They're a tougher matchup against running backs. I know that Herbert busted up against Tampa Bay, which was at the time putting up stout numbers against running backs. If he does it again, they're on the road. The Bears are in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Then I will never bench Khalil Herbert ever again for as long as I live. But for now, give me Darrell Williams. Give me Darrell Williams. Nothing scary about the Packers as far as the matchup.
Nope.
And Jordan Love could create some short fields for the Chiefs.
I don't disagree with any of that.
Yeah.
D Money, full PPR, Judy, Damian Harris in the flex. Damian Harris.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a great matchup.
Not a good matchup.
And I know it's Judy's second game back, and he made it out of the first game without picking up any injuries, so he should have a little bit more of a role in this one too.
I think his role expands. I'm not off Harris. I don't disagree with you.
5 touchdowns in 4 games, Damian Harris.
Yeah. Role seems a little bit more locked in despite the bad matchup.
Averaging 17 touches a game, Damian Williams.
Harris.
Damian Harris, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Despite the full PPR, I'm fine with Harris.
Up, bro, every single time.
Well, yep. they're different.
I can't read. Durko04, have PPR to Ernest Johnson or Jeff Wilson.
Do you go Johnson?
To Ernest Johnson this week.
There's no Kareem Hunt. I mean, he's going to be involved.
To Ernest Johnson this week, and you're hoping for a touchdown
I think
again.
You go to Ernest. Yep. We got to see Wilson. We got to see him first. And we've been speculating, like, not that we know this for sure, but this just could be an emergency situation where they give Wilson like 3 touches and only expand his role if anything happens to Mitchell.
John LeBlanc, who do you play at flex with Tua out? Waddle, Sanders, Elijah Mitchell, Judy, Javonte, Williams, Mike Williams.
Full PPR. Dang.
Wow. Tough decisions.
You like Mike. We had Mike Williams or Jalen Waddle earlier. That was when we thought Tua was playing.
Because
You pivoted to Williams when the news broke.
Jacoby, yep. And I would play Williams over Javonte. I would play Williams over Judy.
I think this is a situation where you got to hope for the best with Mike Williams, despite the bad matchup and the recent string of bad games.
The other way you could go is Emmanuel Sanders, 11th right now in air yards in the
We
NFL.
do like Emmanuel Sanders
right
this
in between
week.
Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs. So Emmanuel Sanders is probably the floor play.
Sanders is the safe
ceiling play.
floor
Mike
play.
Williams.
Mike Williams is. I think I would go Williams. I would just. Those are all good players. That's a good collection of talent right there. Mike Williams is like a slight tier above them all. Slight, not significant, slight. So like that's the tier break for me. I know it's a bad matchup. He's probably going to see Darius Slay today, but I think he's your best play.
Yep.
He's your stealing play, and Emmanuel Sanders would be second.
Swizzle, what's going on, bro? Who do I flex? Mooney, Ayuk, or Chenault? Ugh. And Ayuk.
Yeah, I guess Ayuk. We missed another question from Damon directly above it, but
we'll get to it. Sorry about that.
I can't play Chenault right now. I don't really want to play Mooney either.
Ayuk, and it doesn't feel great.
It doesn't feel great.
Damon Luce, sorry about that. In another league, full PPR, need 2 wide receivers: Jacoby, Edwards, Kirk, and Bateman. Pick 2. Edwards and Bateman.
I'm okay with that. Bateman feels like he's like a safely involved play at this point, and Edwards has some upside. I would like Kirk, but again, I'm
if it
kind
was Kyler, sure, but not with
fading.
Colt McCoy.
I'm fading the Cardinals' offense in a division game without their starting quarterback and their best receiver.
Not with Colt McCoy. I'm not playing him with Colt McCoy.
Bateman and Edwards. I'm good with that.
Flex player, full PPR: Darrell Williams, Chuba, Jacoby, Bryan Edwards. Darrell Williams.
Because McCaffrey's going to play. Also, Red and Gold. What's going on, Red and Gold? Red and Gold had a question directly.
Keep doing that. My chat is bugging.
You're bouncing all over the damn place. Start Tony or Waddle. I think that's a situation where I'm fine saying Tony.
Yeah, because I mean, hey, Kenny Galladay could go out on the second play of the game, and then it's
For
Tony
his sake,
Day.
I hope not, but you freaking never know.
Never know.
Waddle gets a slight downgrade with Brissett, not a significant, but a slight downgrade with Brissett in there, and Tony's a ceiling play.
Yeah, and I'm gonna skip Elias's question because that's what I've been doing and go straight to Damon's. I'm playing. Yo, what would you want to see today from Jeff Wilson in order to drop him instead of Alex Collins? More than 10 touches a game.
I mean,
if he gets involved in the red zone and gets a touchdown, but I don't think I think Alex Collins stays involved over Jeff Wilson.
So you would
I think Jeff Wilson's a hot name. I would keep Collins. I
don't think Wilson's going to get that much work today, but I'm still not ready to drop him until I see him get through this game unscathed and like the vibes are good going into week 10, like Jeff Wilson to be more involved or whatever. I want to see. I need this. I'm gonna hold for 2 games on Wilson. I'm holding for 2 games, regardless of what happens today. Because this is absolutely a situation where he might just not be that involved. But that doesn't mean that he won't get more involved in an electric rushing attack down the stretch.
I will say for the 2.5 to 3 games where he was really doing work, he was getting the majority of the touches and snaps from the running back perspective in San Fran last season. Mm-hmm. And Alex Collins, again, we speculated he's going to be the Seattle running. He very well could be the Seattle running back for the rest of the season, even when Russell Wilson comes back. Because I mean, Chris Carson is such a question mark. Mm-hmm. So I'm not willing to move away from Alex Collins, knowing that he's got such a solidified role. I know you have 3 running backs ahead of him. I know you do, because you said it earlier in the chat.
Yeah.
What's Jeff Wilson's upside? It's if Mitchell went down, Jeff Wilson reaches his upside. If Mitchell doesn't go down, Jeff Wilson doesn't reach his upside.
He's capped. Yeah.
Alex Collins is at his upside and will continue to be for the rest of the season.
That's fair. And so then Wilson is the drop.
I think
Wilson
is a hot name right now, and I get it. I very much get it. but you don't want to get caught up in the hot narrative versus the guy that's producing for you right now and has been producing and will continue to be producing those unsexy fantasy points. But they still producing on your squad. Then you just don't like the name it's associated with. So yeah, I'd stick with Alex Collins, and it doesn't feel great,
fair.
but sometimes you got to do that.
He could be the clearer path to remain the starter.
And Kyle, know who? Hey, kind
Thanks,
words,
Kyle.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
much
appreciate that very much. Yeah, and good luck. Hopefully we help more than we hurt today.
We've had some rough weeks out there, but yeah, everybody will. Everybody will.
Our path to the analysis is we hold to that.
Yep.
Hopefully.
All right, now we're getting to Damon Luce's last question. Mahomes or Stafford full PPR? I've always went Mahomes, thinking differently this week.
I think you're fine to think differently this week. If you want to go Stafford, go Stafford. They're neck and neck. Like it's like Stafford's the third best option this week. Mahomes is the fourth best. Like they're right there.
Stafford got more weapons. I like Stafford.
Stafford's got more weapons. Probably, and I think it's a much better matchup.
Yeah, Mahomes isn't trying to force it and get right. Stafford's just playing and playing
Stafford's
great.
Just
I feel like Mahomes, they got something to figure out there. So that's just playing football is not first thing on mind, and I know that doesn't always translate to something that you have to be measuring in fantasy. But I mean, Stafford, how can you stay away from Stafford?
They want to show out a little bit.
How can you stay away from Stafford?
Go Stafford. Yeah, go Stafford, Damon.
Appreciate it, Xavier. Yes, sir.
Yeah, as always.
Eduardo Tovar, Elijah Mitchell or Hyde? Elijah Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yep, everybody's streaming quarterbacks in light of this two-wit thing. Just remember Daniel Jones, then Tyrod Taylor. Those are our ads.
Yep.
Durko04, half PPR, pick 2T Higgins, Jerry Judy, DJ Moore. Worried of the shutdown. Pat Steve versus McCaffrey is active. Yeah, and Darnold doesn't. Is he playing?
He is. Darnold is in.
Okay.
You go Higgins and DJ. I think DJ Moore's got to be
start.
in. I think DJ Moore is a must start. I don't care about the matchup.
I would go Higgins.
And I agree. Higgins and Judy are both nice to have, but given the fact I like Judy to expand his workload today, but Higgins has been back a little bit longer. Call that a silly bias, but that's what I'm going with.
Yep.
Warren Higgins.
Big Pun, what's going on?
Yeah, good morning. Well, good afternoon now, or well, if you're on the East Coast, good afternoon. If you're anywhere else, good morning.
Ayuk, T. Higgins, Devante Smith, Javonte Williams. Need one wide receiver and a flex. T. Higgins.
I think Higgins over. I like Devante Smith.
And Javonte Williams. You going Javonte over Devante?
That's tough. That's tough. Shoot. Devonte Smith has been better than expected, but it's a tough matchup today. I think I lean the running back. Higgins and Javonte Williams.
There you go. Team 2.
Higgins and Javonte Williams.
Booker, Gaskin, Herbert, Judy need a RB and a flex. Herbert and Gaskin?
Booker and Gaskin.
Herbert and Gaskin? Are you going Booker and Gaskin? I think I'm going Herbert and Gaskin. Prove me wrong. I mean, he keeps doing it in bad matchups. He just keeps going, and I know he's got a bad matchup
the Raiders.
This week. I'm going Herbert and Gaskin.
You're benching Booker.
I'm benching Booker. Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you make that call. That's tough. I understand wanting to play Herbert. The guy looks good. Don't feel great about Montgomery's chances tomorrow night. Even if he does come through, he will not be the 1A. All right. I can get behind that. Gaskin and Herbert. I can get behind that. And, Xavier was talking about player props. Yeah, we'll work on that. Appreciate the suggestion. But CeeDee Lamb is already in, so sorry about that, Xavier. CeeDee's already in. Woods, the news seems to be optimistic, so I guess you might have to just keep praying.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, John LeBlanc, you're welcome. Theo, what are your thoughts on some young guys you think will break out next year that aren't getting a shot this year?
Not getting a shot this year.
Calvin Ridley.
Well,
sorry.
I mean, I guess the first name, I don't know if this is going to happen. The first name that I guess comes to mind is like Trey Sermon. Maybe has another shot next year. Maybe. But usually running backs, like, I don't know. They either are, if they don't do, they're the rookies that you want to see do well, like, or at least somewhat decently well right away. And Sermon's not doing anything.
Right.
I don't know, maybe like an Amon-Ra St. Brown
He could.
with a second year, like that second year leap.
I think Terrace Marshall is my guy.
Terrace Marshall, because Robbie
They should be. Sam Darnold is on
Walks.
a 1-year deal.
if they find a way to upgrade the quarterback.
Right. I feel like they're going to make that a priority to upgrade quarterback. They went out and they've done all they can to upgrade their defense. From trading guys away to get cornerbacks in. They got J.C. Horn when he comes back. So for next season, they should have a decent defense, a very good secondary. Obviously, they got weapons on offense. But Terrace Marshall, I think, should play a valuable role for them.
He should play
in
a
the
valuable
future.
role.
I don't know if we see it at all this season.
I'm gonna say, Theo, let's revisit this question with a little bit more depth Tuesday night. We can come back after a little bit more research.
Yep.
But obviously, we're less than an hour to kick off. So I'm down to have this conversation, but like maybe let's have this on our Tuesday stream.
Absolutely.
Let's move forward with some
But
of these
that's my
start
one guy.
sits.
that I'm gonna
Yeah,
speculate
that's
on.
fine. Terrace, that's fine. Yeah, we're just naming some wide receivers.
Should I play Waddle or Darrell Williams this week?
Williams?
I would go Williams. He's safe.
Yeah,
and
Williams. If it's
technically
full
goes with the
PPR,
upside.
I understand. If it's full PPR, maybe pivot to Waddle just because those are easy points to collect for a guy like him. But half and standard, and honestly, I think Darrell Williams.
Rashad Bateman or Khalil Herbert from Uncle Stunkus. What's going
What's
on,
up, Uncle Stungus? I think the answer is, I think despite the bad matchup, you want to play Herbert, right?
Yeah. All the work for a team that runs a ton.
Yeah, he's going to get lots of
yeah,
work.
he's going to get above 20 touches. He could end up with 80 yards and no TDs, but he could end up with 120 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Rashad Bateman quite has the ceiling this week.
Bateman feels like a safe floor, but Herbert's going to get some volume, and he has been delivering despite some bad matchups and a predictable offense.
Mike Williams or Van Jefferson?
I think that's enough of a tier break where I got to say Mike.
If Woods doesn't go, does that change it for you? Do you go Van Jefferson?
That decision will have already been made, right?
Yeah.
I think that's enough of a tier break. I like Van. I do. That's enough of a tier break. I can't sit Mike Williams despite the tough matchup for Van.
Yeah, I'm
Jefferson.
going Mike Williams there.
Mike Williams
there. Damian Luce, you're welcome, bro. And Chris,
Yeah.
Thanks for the questions, as always.
Yeah.
Harrison Polak, what's going on?
What's up, Harrison?
Salvon Ahmed, Derek Gore.
Ahmed?
Are you playing in a dynasty league, or is this for right now? You gonna get me going in a deep dive right?
John's gonna go down a rabbit hole. John's gonna go down a rabbit hole. Probably Ahmed this week, right? And just like a better match.
For the next 2 weeks while Malcolm Brown is out, it's gonna be Salvon Ahmed. Derek Gore, I know
if that's a
CEH should
one-hit
be coming
wonder.
back too, so he could be just completely erased from the game plan moving forward. But there is a small chance that he just becomes the Darrell Williams next year. So that's why I said it's a dynasty. Then Derek Gore, but Salvon Ahmed for this week.
I agree.
Chris M7, Mitchell Edmonds or Khalil Herbert have PPR. They're all in
Herbie?
the same range for me. I'm going Herbert because
Herbert.
no injury concerns.
No injury designation. I would go Herbert, Mitchell, Edmonds. Maybe that's short-sighted of me. I know Edmonds has been decently productive. He's been solid here and there, but again, I'm downgrading. I got to downgrade the Cardinals. Got to downgrade the Cardinals today with short-handed with the injuries that they are expected to have sideline multiple key players.
Yes, sir. Chris M7, Taysom Hill, I'm guessing.
Taysom Hill.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taysom. He's not starting.
Yeah.
He looked like it made the most sense as the pickup of the week, but then the Saints announced Friday night that Trevor Siemian was starting, so it's Tyrod.
Conklin or Okwegbunam? I would go Conklin.
You're silly, man. You missed.
I know.
Slim's
I'm
question.
just doing it today.
Okay. Van or Herbert? Herbert. Van's got a great matchup, but Herbert's been a good little running back.
Herbert.
I think Herbert, Slim. Yeah, I mean he should get volume. It's a bad matchup. Van's got a great one, and we really like Stafford tonight. Herbert.
I still stand by my Conklin versus Akwegbunam.
Conklin's got as good a like, go figure. The Baltimore Ravens are giving up tons of points to the tight end this year. Conklin's a safe tight end stream. I got to check on that in the league, by the way.
Conklin. Boston Scott, Julio Jones, or Kenny Golladay?
Boston Scott.
Boston Scott, then Julio Jones, and then Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, go Boston Scott. We both are in agreement that he remains involved regardless of game script for as long as Miles Sanders is out.
Yep. Has a great running back schedule rest of season 2.
And a good matchup today.
Yep. Uncle Stunkus, you are welcome. Ethan,
yeah.
You are welcome. Thank you guys for joining
thanks for coming through, guys. Thanks for the questions. Appreciate it.
Mike Kelly, Mike Williams.
What's up, Mike?
Mike Kelly, Mecole Hardman, Jordan Howard, or Jeff Wilson at the flex have PPR.
I think Jordan Howard is chasing points from last week.
Mecole Hardman, and it doesn't feel good. That's who I'm going with.
I think it's Mecole. I was in agreement. I'm not crazy about these options. I got to see Jeff Wilson. I am not. There's a non-zero chance that Jeff Wilson is only active in an emergency situation tonight. There's a non-zero chance that that is the case. And Jordan Howard, the matchup is good, but I don't expect. I think Jordan Howard got extra run because the Eagles were trouncing the Lions. I don't think that happens today against the Chargers. So yeah, let's go Mecole. Poof.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go Mecole.
Don't feel good about it though. Harrison right now missing some important skill position. I'm guessing players this week. And
okay.
Yeah.
So that's like
Yep.
maybe a bunch of bye weeks, some injuries. Yeah, slight edge to Ahmed. The matchup is good enough.
Yep.
They may run a little bit more with a backup quarterback in. Ahmed.
And Damon Luce, one more question. All right, we'll allow it. Need a wide receiver in a flex full PPR. Bateman, Myers, Maurice Jones-Drew.
You need to stop with that.
Marvin Jones Jr. and Edwards and Van Jefferson. Wide receiver and a flex full PPR.
Oh, he needs two.
Van Jefferson and Maurice Jones-Drew.
I think Van Jefferson is a good ceiling play.
And then would you go Edwards or Marvin Jones Jr.?
Marvin Jones is going to seat Tre'Davious White.
And a lot of garbage time.
And a lot of garbage time.
Yep.
I think I go Bryan Edwards upside in a good matchup.
Van Jefferson, Bryan Edwards. I don't disagree with that.
It's two ceiling plays, Damon. If you feel like you want to make a safe play, if you feel like you want to pick a safe play and a ceiling play, Van would be my ceiling play. No, that's a lie. Edwards is my ceiling play. He might be the number 1 wide receiver for the Raiders, at least this game. Darren Waller excluded, like just wide receiver.
Yes.
Edwards is my ceiling play. Marvin Jones Jr. is my downside floor play, but if you feel like you can get away with a play like that and just hope for the best, to your point, John, in garbage time, then Marvin Jones. If you feel like you need 2 ceiling plays,
I'd rather play Bateman this week than Marvin Jones.
I don't totally disagree with that.
But I would go. It doesn't matter. Van Jefferson, Edwards is my number.
Van
2
Jefferson and Edwards are your ceiling plays.
Whoever you play after that is up to you. But
yeah, Edwards I think is your guy. Edwards is in, and then I'll pivot off of Marvin Jones. Bateman is a unsexy floor play. Van Jefferson is another ceiling play.
Yep. Chris M7, Mike Williams for Boston Scott. Mike Williams, bro. Come on now.
It's got to be Mike.
And Theo Von Miller just sent a late second for Terrace Marshall and then sent Zay Jones and a third for Marshall as well. Hey, man, if that gets it done.
If you can make it happen, do it.
I want to be in your leagues.
If you can make it happen, do it.
Yeah, those are good bets.
If you can make it happen, do it.
And we will be
definitely
back,
like Marshall.
And we will be back on Tuesday to talk about some
yeah,
of these other
give
guys.
us some time to mull that over. We'll try to do a slightly deeper dive whenever the time comes. But I think we are at the end of our rope here.
Yes, sir. Harrison Pollard, one more,
Harrison,
guys. Hey.
Thank you, man.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Appreciate
that. One
that.
more question, but hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, we're like anybody else. We're gonna get some things right. We're gonna get some things wrong. But we have a process as far as like breaking things down that we hope helps, that we hope is informative.
And
it's a little outside the box sometimes.
We're glad you.
But appreciate it.
A little bit sometimes. But glad you found us. Glad you're tuning
in. We like looking at all different types of angles.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it helps. Hopefully these lineup decisions help everybody. Good luck this week. Everybody go get those wins. Have a good football Sunday.
Yes, sir.